To recruiting, excuse me, 101 with your boy Dijon Jernigan, Director of Recruiting with California Recruits. Excuse me, man. I am here with you today to discuss everything that's been going on from the summer. And I guess my question to you guys is, man, I start coughing right when I start this. This is crazy, huh? My question to you guys is, what have you learned from the summer? What have you learned from the summer? What's going on in the summer? What's happening? What happened this summer through all these summer camps? Everything that you have you've gone through. You know, you've gone to all these camps in June. You see the calendar behind me, and I don't know if the calendar is going the right way or not, but uh, but I want to ask you guys, what have you learned? What have you learned this summer in the summer recruiting? We're going to talk a little bit about some of the things you should have learned and what for the class of 24 you should be doing. The class of 25, if I've told you in my daily show, has done an amazing job. Coaches seem to believe that that particular class is far above one of the best classes that are coming out in 25. So you're 24, and we're going to talk a little bit today more about June and what did you do in June. We're coming up on the last week of camps. You got this week and next week, and then this thing, they go dead, and they're going to go dead. And when they go dead, they go dead, guys. Nobody's going to be out recruiting. Nobody's going to be out looking at what's going, watching guys. They're going to go on their vacation. And the question is going to be asked to you guys, what have you guys done, or what have you done so far to, what have you done so far to help your recruiting? What have you done in this process? Okay. And I know I always talk football. Tonight I want to really talk, as we talk football, I want to talk and make sure you guys understand that this week transfer portal is the transfer portal has hit everyone. And so I initially wanted to talk to the parents and everyone about tonight is that the recruiting, and you'll see it in my ticker. My ticker should be going right now, right? It should be showing the whole way, is that the recruiting timeline has changed. And that's why we have this calendar here, is to show you, and you can find this calendar on the NCAA.org website, to show you recruiting timelines have changed. And the time that kids, you heard services year after year after year say, guys, you need to make sure that you start early. And I'm going to tell you, ninth grade parents who just came into high school, oh, we're going to wait till varsity year. I hear this all the time. Then if your kid has a goal and a dream to play at the next level, and you're going to wait until his senior year, unless, and here's what I will say, so coaches don't say he gave you wrong information. Unless he's a measurable size kid, you really can't wait. And even then, you're going to put yourself in a tough box, okay? But tonight, I want to talk to parents, because I think I've heard some frustrations. I know parents have paid and are still paying. There's a couple camps coming up still here in California. There's the Cal Poly camp, I believe, is this weekend. I think there's some UNLV still has some camps going on. And I think parents have gone and they go, I'm not seeing the results, but yet they go on Twitter. They keep seeing kids getting offers. They see kids in the 24 class getting offers. So what should I be doing? How should I be taking that? And I'm telling you guys tonight, I am taking questions from you guys as well. What should you be doing? You should be looking at, am I going to the right camps? We talked about that prior. You're going to USC, UCLA, even if you're going to UNLV, but you haven't talked to a coach. If you're in the 24 class, you've never talked to a coach. You've never talked to anyone who's talked to you prior with a text message or something, and you let them know that you were going to that particular camp, then you have to understand that it's going to be far and in between for you to be getting, some recruiting going. And so you want to make sure that you're going to camps and you're doing the stuff, going to the schools that that are recruiting you if you're 24 in this next 24 class. If not, you might want to start looking at reevaluating your recruiting. And I'm going to talk a little bit today about why it's good to work with an actual service, or the benefits of working with a service is because the earlier you can find out where you are in the recruiting game, the better it is. Problem is that a lot of people, a lot of you guys, and I want to say this on record, and I'm on Twitch right now. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook and YouTube. I want to tell all you guys who are watching again, if you have an NCSA profile, I'm not with NCSA. I used to be with NCSA years ago, and I want you guys to understand it is a great service to have, but to have an actual recruiter and somebody you can talk to, and you're not paying for coaching meetings. But NCSA is a great gauge to have when you're a 9th or 10th grader. But when you need to know where I stand, you need to know the questions that you need to ask. You need to understand, who do I need to be talking to? If I'm a 24 coming in this class and I don't have measurable size, and what are we talking about measurable size? At your position, if you are a corner and you're under 6 feet, you're looked at as a non-measurable size corner. You're 5'11", 5'10", 5'9", 5'8", and you play DB, your recruiting may be slowed down because you don't have the measurables. They're going to go 6 feet and above. They're looking at those guys first. You want to be able to work with a service that's going to help you manage your expectations on where you should be first. What schools you should be looking at first. What schools you should be actually targeting. If you're high academic, if you're 5'8", 5'9", you can't be slow. You can't be a 4'6", 4'7" guy. You got to be 5'8", 4'4". You got to be able to jump out the gym. You got to be athletic. You have to have a 3.5, 3.8. You have to do some things exceptional because of your size, okay? The problem we have with parents and guys in this whole recruiting thing is that parents compare their kids against kids they shouldn't be comparing them against, right? Your dude's 5'9", this kid's 6'2". He's taller, but there's no but. That's what college coaches are looking at. And so what we do is we want to help you manage that expectation. I'm going to talk a little bit to you 9th graders, you incoming 9th graders. Some of you guys have gone to camps good to get your feet wet, just to kind of get out there, get your Twitter game. That's another big part. 98% of all college coaches are on Twitter recruiting kids. Yes, the NCAA says college coaches cannot talk to a student athlete until September 1st of their junior year. That doesn't mean you can't brand yourself on Twitter as an 8th grader, 9th grader, going into high school, putting up your videos, because though they can't talk to you doesn't mean they can't watch your video. They can't look and go, man, this kid can go. This kid, this kid can play. I got to get on this kid early. Because of the transfer portal, as you see the recruiting calendar behind me, things have moved in a very fast direction. It's moving quickly, okay? I'm going to talk to you about some things that coaches are saying to kids at camp. I want to help manage your expectation, so you know, I don't want to say the game, but I want you to know when a coach is not trying to let you down. He's letting you down easy, so to speak. He's not trying to hurt your feelings. He's trying to let you down easy, so you understand that means you need to reevaluate maybe the schools that you're going after versus you just saying, he said follow him on Twitter. He said he's gonna watch he want me to wait till after my 3rd game, and then they're gonna reach back out. No, you've been playing football on varsity for the last 2 years. They watched 2 years of huddle. They watched 2 summers, and you've been to 8 camps. What is 3 games gonna do to help them tell you now that they're gonna recruit you? you need to step away from maybe that school and start looking at some schools. And maybe that school is a Power Five, maybe it's a mid-major, maybe you need to start looking at 1AA s, getting your information in front of other schools. And that's the benefit of somebody telling you the truth up front versus you constantly going to 9 camps and you're like, oh, he told me to follow him. He said they're gonna watch my first 3 games. I hear this all the time. They're gonna watch your first 3 games. Let me tell you something. If you look at that calendar, you're gonna play most of you guys are going to play high school football at the end of August, mid-August. By your 3rd game is their 1st or 2nd game. By the time they look at your film, they're looking at your film, but they're also looking at other colleges and seeing who is going to go in the portal. And if a guy's going to go in the portal, am I taking a high school guy or am I taking a portal guy? These are questions you should be asking way ahead if you're even in those kind of conversations. If you're not going to know. So you're going to just take that, oh, he's going to watch my 3 games, and you're going to take that as if that's gospel. And I'm going to just tell you right now, that's just him not trying to tell you, hey, guy, we like you, you move well, but we probably going to go another direction. Very few coaches do that. Very few coaches do that. So what have you learned, guys? What have you learned from summer? I just want to know, what have you learned from the camps? I think the biggest thing that you should take away is coaches recruit guys that they have been talking to for at least a year. They've been DMing, they've been texting, they've been, somewhere or another talking through a 7-on-7 coach. They know who this guy is. They have. So what does that say to you guys early? You guys that are in the 9th grade, the earlier you're out. I'm not going to get on here and argue with anyone, but I will say, the guys are saying, oh, you don't need to go on the 7-on-7 circuit. Well, the kids that have been on the circuit have already been talking to these coaches, through quote unquote, the handlers have talked to coaches about your kid from the time they played on a top tier 7-on-7 team, whether it be a Pro A or a Ground Zero, a Premium, a Rare Breed. If you're in California, some of the top teams that are around, those coaches, and the reason why they talk to coaches. And regardless of what the naysayers may say, if you look at those kids, they all play on certain teams and they've been building relationships with coaches since the 9th grade. Legal or illegal, however you want to say it, that's just what happens. So when you get to camp, you have to understand, working with a service or working with a 7-on-7 coach that may be helping you out or whatever it may be, is going to always benefit you early on, so you can start building those relationships, and that you're going to the right camps, right? So summer camp, you should have learned that it's a combine. If you're not practicing or you're not working with a trainer and you don't know the drills and you don't know what's going on, it's tough. You should have learned there's 300 to 600 kids. I just heard somebody tell me it was about 600 kids at one session at Sac State. So if you're going to be part of 600 kids, how are you going to get in front of a college coach prior to going to that camp? How does that happen? How do you know what's going on if you're not talking to those college coaches prior to going to that camp, or you don't have any kind of contact with those guys? That's important. That's where coming in. That's where working with services always helps you and help student athletes when they're working with somebody to say, hey, no doubt most of you guys saw coaches, they knew kids' names when they got there. They knew what to say. They knew, hey, this kid's going to be here. This is what's going on. So you want to make sure that this is something that you're doing maybe next year. Now, there's 2 more. I know there's more camps coming up. I know UNLV, Cal Poly. I know Eastern Washington has some late camps in July, but it's about to go dead. So I want to talk to you guys about what you should be doing during this dead time. One, you should be spending some time with your family, get away from the sport, rest your body, get ready for your high school season. Some of you guys are playing 7-on-7 tournaments with your high school, which is absolutely great. And then you're going on these trips on the weekend to some of these camps. You do want to rest. You do not want to come into your season with a torn ACL or all these nicks, because you've been to 19 camps and you've played 7-on-7 since the spring, and now you're playing with your high school. You got to kind of manage that stuff out. But In that time, if you've talked to coaches and you're in DMs with, and this is Power Five, Division One, AA schools, you got to start asking the right questions. And the right questions that you need to be asking a coach from the time says go, when you're leaving the summer, is, coach, how many guys are you guys taking at my position? If he says 4, you're just an example. Is that 2 high school and 2 guys out the portal? Or is that 1 high school and 3 guys out the portal? Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to manage my expectation, trying to manage my recruiting, and I want to know exactly what it is that I'm looking at as I go into my senior year. And a coach either he gives you a bunch of garbage. Oh yeah, we don't know, 4 high school guys. In this era, nobody's taking 4 high school guys at one position. It's not happening anymore. So you got to understand the numbers are going down lower. So parents, that's why the 1AA, that's why the Division 2, that's why the Division 3, that's why the NAIA. I've said it for the last 2.5 years now. Every level of football has gotten better. And so you have to make sure that you guys understand even better that, you know what? I don't have every school that's recruiting me, any school that's recruiting me. I am open to everyone. I don't have a preference. Everybody needs to understand. I know most of these kids want to be recruited. They believe that they have to play D1 to get to their super goal of going to the NFL. That's not it. When you come out of the summer, you need to sit down with somebody and have a plan. If you're 24, that plan should be, hopefully, I'd love for you to talk with me, but it's to get with somebody and say, you know what, here's my target 25. In that 25, I only got 3 Division 1 schools or 5 Division 1 schools, 2 Power Fives and 3 1AAs. And you know what? From there, I'm going Division 2. I'm going Division 3 NAIA. I just want to play the sport I love at the next level. And it's so funny when I watch my numbers go down when I say this. These are the people that call in December and go, "Hey man, something happening. Is any of those D2 schools watching? Any of those D2 schools recruiting?" Well, you get on those schools now. You get on those schools early after you've gone to all these camps and you're not getting back the love that you think you ought to get back. The love is the conversations. The love is the Zoom meeting with you, mom, and dad. The love is, hey, we'd like to extend an offer to you. Hey, we saw you on campus. You guys have just gone through everything you need to go through in June, which is coaches saying to you, hey, when they came out in the spring, when they came out in early February, they said, hey, man, we like to get you on campus first. I'm going to watch your practice. Then you came back in April and they said, hey, coach really liked your film from last year. Surely like to get you on campus at our camp. You got there on camp. Now you're there and you didn't get an offer again. So which one is it, guys? It's time to reevaluate where you are coming out of the summer. You should know. Here's the timeline. I tell all of my clients, you should commit before your senior year. It's two couple of reasons I'll give them to you. The reason why you should commit before your senior year, going into your senior season, is if a coach tells you if you tear a knee, you hurt yourself, we still going to honor your scholarship, commit. There it is. You go into the season. Is that my homegirl to go? What's going on? You go into the season with insurance if they like you that much. Ask how many players percentage-wise. I asked the coach this past year in the 23 class, how many guys did you offer that didn't take your offer and was trying to wait? Did you guys go? He said something like 48% of the kids we offered, we ended up either going in the portal, they waited too long, we went somewhere else. So this is not the era where you do, if you're not a top 100 athlete, you don't do commitment videos. You don't have that luxury. You make a commitment, you go play high school football, you get ready for the prom, homecoming, and enjoy your senior year. That's what you do. You don't have time to be trying to, do the stuff. That was 5 years ago. That was pre-pandemic. We're not doing that anymore. These coaches have the leverage again where they're not playing the game. And I tell you guys that all the time. There's no such thing as a jump off offer anymore. All of that stuff. I told you years ago, floffers. There are fake offers. There's offers you can commit to. There's no more time. We don't got time for you to do it. You got a commitment video. You want to wait. You don't want to tell nobody. All right, cool. You got till Friday. I had a guy at a camp just the other day. They told him he had till today. He has 9 offers. I told him, you know what? You got to control the narrative. Is that the school you want to go to? He says, I kind of like it, but it ain't. Okay, well, then you don't have to commit. And guess what? He didn't and got 2 more offers today. So at the end of the day, you have to understand where you are in the recruiting game is very important. And mom and dad, those that are watching, coming out of camp season, which is next week, when they go dead, you have to reevaluate. You spent $60 a camp, 125, you flew here, you did that. What are the results that you got coming out of camp season? What did you get? Because we're going to go into July, and I'll tell you, you'll see a bunch of commitments right before July 4th or right after July 4th. Then we're getting into the season. They're getting into their season. The phone calls become less and less right after the end of July. Everybody starts saying, hey, the guys we really like, the top 100 guys, the guys that said yes already, we're going to babysit them, and the recruiting window will start closing until December 1st when the portal opens again. And for a high school student athlete, you now are going up against the kids that you saw in the 23 class that may have chosen the wrong school. They may have went to the wrong school, and now they're a part of your recruiting. So you don't have time to blow off Adams State and Fort Lewis and Central Washington and some of these other schools that you want to treat like the consolation prize. There's no consolation prize. Okay? No, that's a scholarship. That's going to help mom and dad pay for school. Get your attitude right. Be grateful. Do some research on the school. Okay? For you guys to know, there's only 11 schools in California, Division I, that you can pick from. If those 11 aren't recruiting you, you got to already start looking outside of California. Yeah, USC, UCLA, Cal, Stanford, Fresno, San Jose, San Diego State, University of San Diego, Cal Poly, Sac State, and UC Davis. That's 11. If none of those 11 schools are recruiting you, you got to start looking outside of California. Those are your Division I and Division I AA schools. Okay, so you definitely got to do it. Okay, those are the ones that you definitely want to look at. So next thing coming out of camp season, what do we want to know? Things that coaches will tell you. We're going to watch your first 3 games, and then we'll let you know if we're going to offer. Nope. That's what I put there. Nope. Not going to happen. Coach's not going to do that. I've seen you. I've watched your film from your junior year going into your senior year. I just saw you at 5 different camps. Mom and dad, what else do they need to see? Did you get faster? Did you get bigger? Did you get stronger? I just saw you in June. What are you going to do in August 16th to September that I need to see before I offer you? I want you guys to understand. I want to manage the expectation of the kid. What you need to do is move on to the next school. Move on to where are we sending our information? What are we going to be doing to help move on so we understand where we are and where we're not? Because those are the things that they ask. I want younger kids to understand. If you're in a 25 class or 26 class, follow me on Twitter is the next thing. This is what they'll tell you. Follow me on Twitter. Well, I did that. And if they were going to offer you in a 24 class, follow me on Twitter at camp doesn't mean that they like you and they're going to start doing anything different. I've already been following you, coach. Okay, well, you had a good camp, man. We'll keep in touch. That means we'll keep in touch. I didn't offer you. We're not talking about you. You're not on our board. You'll get that too. He's on the board. We got you on the board. We used to tease one of the coaches, one of my good friend coaches. That was his thing. You on the board? Okay, right? The guys that are on the board, that's been on the board, they've come off the board, they've been offered, or we go from there. Okay. I want to say this because I saw my good friend Hernan Santiago on here. If you've made a commitment, because I told you to commit before the season, if you are that big of a recruit and you've committed somewhere and other schools still like you, it doesn't stop your recruiting. Let me make sure I let you know that. It does not stop your recruiting. Most people think we're better than them. He doesn't want to go that far. Oh, we don't care. We're going to still recruit you. We want you to come on a trip. It doesn't, but it gives you some insurance. It gives you a little bit of leverage. I'm going to school anyway. Well, you know what? And parents, control that narrative. I know coaches may come watch this. I'm going to tell coaches every time I deal with my kid, I am not going to not take my kid on all of his trips. If he gets coaches that want him to see a school, even if I've committed to you, what it is my son will never have this opportunity to do this only one time in his senior year, to go to all these schools, to be courted like this. So, coach, if you really believe that we've told you we're committed to you, and we are committed to you, but you're not going to take away this dream that my son has to go and visit as many schools as that may want to pay for him to go. Now, is that good advice? You got to be able to make sure your athlete is a strong enough athlete that they won't give you the, if you take a trip, we're going to drop you. Really? So if you're going to drop me, you didn't want me in the first place. That's controlling the narrative as a recruit, okay? But if you are in this day, you got to remember too, they got the leverage. They got something called a portal. They got 4,000 guys that'll be in it by the time we finish December, January. And if they feel like dropping you and they see something that they think can help them, they will. So you got to kind of maintain that, watch that out, watch out for that as well. But I do want you to know recruiting does not stop. It does not stop when you commit, okay? But for our younger guys, I've seen a lot of this. The coach followed me on Twitter. Oh, that means they're recruiting me. No, that means he followed you on Twitter. When he follows you on Twitter and opens up and you guys start having a DM conversation, maybe a good thing, September 1st of your junior year. If he follows you before that, good. Make sure you're loading and loading and loading video. Make sure if nobody is following you back right now, they're following the rules. Doesn't mean they don't like you. And I teach something later with my clients on how, if you've been following that guy since the 9th grade and now you've been following 60 coaches and you're like, nobody's followed me back. Well, guess what? You're a junior now. Go follow and unfollow. Click that. It'll send him a notification. He'll start following you again. Okay? But flood your timeline with football stuff. Make sure it's there. Okay? So don't fall for that. Okay? 25s, 20 through 27, you young guys. Learn from the guys that started before you. Start building your brand early. Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram followers. Get your little girlfriend off your page. Be a football player. Be a student athlete. Put stuff on your page that actually counts. Okay? Put stuff on there. Let me tell you what girlfriends tell coaches. I don't know if he wants to leave her, so I don't know if I want to recruit him yet. Real story. Had a student athlete. First thing Coach Kit from University of Washington said, DeJohn, we like him. His girlfriend is all over his page. I said, so what are you saying, Coach? I don't know, man. Looks like she might have some influence. You think he want to come this far? That's the reason why we don't, we put our little anniversaries. We've been dating since the 9th grade. Oh, my God, it's been 2 years. That scares college coaches. That means she has influence. And as I've been told, women are undefeated in this game. They don't lose. So I can tell you that right now. So make sure your Twitter is a football Twitter. It's a sports Twitter. It's a student athlete Twitter. Okay? Learn from the guys before you. TikTok. You don't have a whole lot of personality. Well, guess what? NIL deals are coming because of followers and personality. A day in the life of DeJohn, man, get up. Show them what you're doing. Show them how you're in the weight room. 2-minute video, minute and a half video. That's what I'm doing. I'm over here in and out with my teammates. Hey, whatever it may be, build your brand. That's what this whole thing is about. We are in the branding era. Okay? Branding era. You 9th graders, you 10th graders coming out of this camp season, you feel like you did well. Some coaches said they're going to start following you. They said hello to you. Now build your brand again. That camera ought to be out every time you are in the weight room. Every time you're going to work out with Steve Calhoun or Steve Clarkson or Coach Garcia, whoever you're going to throw with. You quarterbacks, the hardest position to be recruited at right now is quarterback. Why? They're taking older guys out of the portal who sat on the bench at these other schools and practice guys over high school guys. You got to show, number one, you're mature enough. You're mature. You're on you're in the weight room. You got your stuff. The day in the life on TikTok, just kind of showing your followers on Instagram, kind of what you do. Maybe a book. Our quarterbacks got to be smart. They're mobile. What are you doing? What does your day look like? You know, and quarterbacks, you of all people should be looking from Division I all the way down to Division NAIA, because quarterbacks are coming from everywhere because there's so many of you guys. Okay, you're a pocket guy. You got to show some mobility. Maybe you start showing that you do some other stuff. You run track. You play basketball. You got to show you're doing some other stuff. You guys that are unmeasurable size, you're non-measurable size, that you 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", but you can dunk a basketball. You know, I might get the camera out and show that I can two-hand dunk, stand still, vertical jump. Okay, he's athletic, man. I haven't seen him do that on the football field, but I just saw him dunk a basketball. Those things go a long way. But if you're talking to people and you don't, get it, I mean, they go a long way. I had coaches at Cal Poly when they recruited my son. The first thing we did was get on campus. They said, that wasn't a 10-foot rim you guys were dunking on at BHS, was it? I said, yeah, it was. So I said, come on, we're going to go to the gym. We want to see Isaiah dunk. As soon as we got there, all right, here, can I throw him the lob like I did in the video? Here, go get it. Boom. Do it again. Boom. Okay. It happens. Coaches want to see strange stuff. You got to think outside the box. You'll be recruited against every kid in the country, not just the kids in your local area. There are kids all over, and they're doing something different online every day, all the time. You got to think outside the box in the branding era. Okay? That's just the era that we are in right now. All right? Benefits of working with a service. Why not? Relationship with college coaches. I want to say this to you guys so you guys understand this. I have no problem. I know some high school coaches have problem with services. They may have problem with me. I'm going to say this. I have no problem with high school coaches. I have relationships with college coaches, and my relationship with college coaches is different than the high school coach's relationship. The college coach and the high school coach have a very generic, is he on time? What kind of student is he? Great kid, comes from a great family. The cookie cutter, same conversation. My conversation, totally different. Handler's conversation, totally different. How can we get this done? Who do we need to talk to? Is mom and dad on good terms in same house? All right. Is there an uncle? What's 7 on 17? Who is this, that? We dig deeper. So it's not about me wanting credit or getting more credit than the high school guy. The conversation he has with 500 high school coaches. Conversation he has with me, totally different. So I can tell you the benefits of that are the relationships that I've built over the years and what we're going to go into. Because when I talk to a client, what is it that you're looking for? 90% of the high school kids, 95% of the high school kids don't even have a conversation with their high school coach about what they want regularly. Secondly, we're only talking about 2% of the kids going Division I. Outside of that, college coaches aren't talking to NAIA and Division III and Division II schools about a kid because they're not making those phone calls. So understand that when you say, oh, well, he's going to talk to the high school coach. Usually they do, and it's really generic. So, coach, can I get the transcripts? Yeah. What type of student is he? Oh, great student. He's here all the time. He's in the weight room. Good kid. Great. When they get on the phone with me after they talk to him, Dijon, what you think? He can go. Yeah. Coach said he's this, coach said that. Coach, yeah, cool. How does he do on the circuit? Does really well. All right. All right. What's the deal with moms and pops? Moms want to stay close. Pops don't care. That's what they say. Okay. All right. Stuff high school coach hasn't even had a conversation about. Okay. Not to knock high school coach. There's going to be a conversation and some things high school coach can say. I can't. You've been with the kid for 4 years. If you know him as a lazy kid, maybe you're going to say that. I don't know him as a lazy kid. He's never been lazy with me. So you may have some more insight that I don't. I can have insights you don't. We should be working together for the benefit of the kid. But 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen that way. But just want you guys to know that's the benefit of it. And most of the time when you get kids coming my way, that's what it's for. Okay. Next thing, benefits. After the benefits, all right, we teach you how to manage expectation, teach you the right questions to ask. There it is. We teach you how to ask the right questions so you can find out where you stand for real. And this is the biggest thing. A lot of our kids don't know where they stand in this recruiting process from the ninth grade all the way to by the time they're a senior. They're like, well, I think you like me. I think you know. I come from the era of letters. And we knew a school was recruiting us because we got letters. And then now they tell you letters don't mean anything. The correspondence of letters and a handwritten letter, you know, people go, man, they handwritten. A handwritten letter means a whole lot. But you get these big posters from Fresno State with you can be next. They send that to like 600 guys and they put you in this rotation and you're getting that. That is just correspondent mail when you're not talking to a coach. Now, if you're getting that mail early, like early in your junior year, that's great. You have been known. And that's what I always try to tell parents. There's a difference between a recruit and a prospect, or a prospect and a recruit. Okay? Everybody that went to camp on Saturday, if it was 600 kids last week at Sac State or Fresno State, they were all prospects. There were a few recruits. Some of them got off. The recruits got offered, not the prospects. So that's the difference. And you got to find out, when do I become a recruit? There's some tail signs about when you become a recruit. Phone calls, text messages, name on board. People start talking to you, start asking you about what you may want to major in. They've talked to mom and dad. They've set up a Zoom, a virtual tour, unofficial visit. A lot of things happen when you become a recruit and not a prospect. Okay? So these are the things that we want to make sure we have a understanding of. And this is one of the benefits of working with a service and what we talk to you about. Okay? The biggest thing we do, man, we manage expectation. The toughest thing in this industry right now is a lot of kids, again, don't know where they stand. They don't know where they are. We got to manage expectation, mom and dad. And how we do that is we got to have real conversation about where you are. I live in Bakersfield. For some of you guys that are on there that are not from Bakersfield, or those that are, we still are one of the most under-recruited areas in California, in the Central Valley. No matter how great players that are coming out of our area is, no matter how good Jackson Santiago is, and Connor Workington and Trey Fulton. I mean, this year we're going to have, we coming in this year, I said Jackson Santiago will be the number one recruit guy in this area, already committed to Boston College. Trey Fulton just shot up there. He's got a bunch of mid-majors. Connor Workington in the last 2 weeks I think he's pulled 4 to 6 offers. I mean, there's guys. It's happening, right? And you got this, and then there's this tremendous fall off. Why? Because the kids that are going to the camps right now, they're not going asking the right question. They're not going to the right camps. I can tell you right now, when you manage that expectation, you got to start telling kids what they need to do early. If you're going to a camp, we had a camp here. Thank God for Coach Sheehy and the guys that put on the camp. It was a camp that was done inside the bubble of Bakersfield. Where did the information go? If a guy did well at that camp, did that information get to anybody? Well, if it didn't get to anybody, it was just another camp that we did inside the bubble that said I was one of the best kids in my area. And then what does that mean? Did any college coaches see that? Do they know who these kids are? No, it was just a camp kids went to. I know we're trying to do things to say, okay, yeah, we just did it. But when I give, I'm going to speak here now, make it personal. When I tell you National Preps has over 260 to 300 college teams buying their list, then that's a camp you might want to go to. I can get you invited. I can make sure you get there. Well, student athletes go, different things happen, right? Because they listen. Those are those benefits. And then managing that expectation. What are we doing now? We want kids who come out of camp who realize, hey, maybe I'm Division II. Maybe I am NAIA. This is what's going to happen. I saw some of my friends that are on here that were with the service. They're still with the service because you're with the service lifetime. Cindy Roth, thank you for joining us. We have kids that are at JC. The kids at JC have to understand they're now being recruited against the portal. They're not being recruited against JC kids only. They're in college. That's college football. And what junior college kids need to understand as well is that it's college football. It's not like, oh, I'm not playing. No, it's college football. So you are now being recruited against everybody in college football and high school. So those guys that are in the portal, they trump high school and some junior college guys. So where you probably thought you didn't want to go out of high school, maybe some of the same type of schools you're going to get coming out of 2 years of JC, because the portal, are you bigger, stronger, faster? Yeah. But has every level of football gotten better? Yeah. And so are there Division I guys playing NAIA? Absolutely. I know them all over the country right now. Are there JC guys playing good Division II football at Southwest or Southeast West Oklahoma? Yeah. They ain't a school that you talk to me about coming out of high school. But those are type schools. Pittsburgh State, right? Nacogdoches, you're going to Stephen F. Austin, Division I AA. Presbyterian, 1AA. All the way, Detroit, East Coast. Davenport. I got Chris Thompson, Davenport. These kids are going to schools that they wouldn't have never thought of 2 years ago, because the reality is going to set in, and you better managing that expectation has to happen now. That's the reality. Fresno State is taking very few guys from JC that are not JC All-American. They look back at the recruiting and go, oh, he had a lot of recruiting out of high school, needed to fix some grades, measurable size. All these things are still coming back. Guys that bounce back from Division I, they become a 4-2, what they call a 4-2-4 year, 4-2-4 guy. Went to a 4-year out of high school, has to get a 2-year degree to get back to a 4-year. Yeah. And then you parents who, let me share this. This is really managing expectation time now. I'm just going, you 23s, I'm going to just go to JC and get out in a year. It's not a year, it's 5 months. So if you're a qualifier out of high school, you have literally 5 months to get out. You're going to go in August, September, October, November. Schools, your program's going to end in December. You qualified out of high school. You can be in school in January. What am I going to take you in 5? I didn't take you for 4 years. I'm going to take you in 5 months. Because now, when you're done with your season in December, guess what opens? The portal. I'm not killing dreams. I'm managing your expectation. That's the reality. So here's the key, junior college football player, 23 class going to JC. You got to be on the field to leave in 5 months. You got to be a player that's playing 85% of the snaps to leave in 5 months, because you either got to be all conference, all American, or you got to have some film that shows that you were out there doing damage. And the coach goes, we couldn't get him out of high school. He went to JC. Yeah, he balled out. We want him. Because you just don't get out just because, right? So you got to kind of make real decisions, start really looking at the game, start really looking at football like, okay, this is what it is. I may have to play in snowy weather. I may have to leave my family. This is it. Do I really want to play this game? Because this is what it's going to take for me to play at this level. I may be here for 2 years. Got it? All right. I got some question and answer time. I can look. Uh, oh, I didn't add it. Wow, there it is. I got some question and answer time for you guys. I know people got questions. Q&A. You're online. I'm looking at it online. I can definitely answer some questions. Uh, you know, making a stressful situation into a joyful experience. Thank you. No, I truly, truly thank the Santiago family. I laugh with Herndon. He put his wife on me, and there's something you can't do with the mom. You got to answer her call every time. You talking about sending her baby somewhere. You better get on the phone, Dijon. No, but for real, Herndon, thank you guys. You guys are. I'm so excited for you guys going to Boston College. I'm so excited for what's happening, what has happened, and I went to check on my boy. I hope he's doing all right. I heard he had a little blow on 7-on-7 on Saturday. But any questions that you have that you'd like to ask, you can shoot them to me. You can go to my website. If you're looking to work with a service, have a Zoom meeting, and really have a conversation, I truly like sitting down with families and really seeing where you are in the process. If you've already signed up with NCSA, we give a discount with our service because I worked with them. I worked at that company. I believe in the NCSA product. I just don't believe in it to work past a certain time. I'll say that. If you're not getting the answers that you need to, get with somebody that's going to help you move the needle. If you are an eighth grader, ninth grader going into high school, you definitely want to sign up with a service early. You are a 10th grader. I will be having a all clients meeting here at the end of the summer with all of my clients that are in the service so we can start looking at where you are and what's going on in your recruiting and what you want to happen. I get these questions all the time. So I got a question here. Does playing JV football as a 10th grader hurt your chances of recruiting? No, I can't tell you that. I will tell you, I have to say no because I don't know what your measurable growth will be over that next year. Okay. So if you're a 10th grader, you're going to play JV football. Your road to getting where you want to go is going to be a little harder because in California, 90% of the high school athletes that are Power 5 recruits are probably holdbacks that were held back in the 8th grade, and they played varsity football for 3 years. So they have 3 years of varsity film for a college coach to look at. And you say, well, Deshaun, as opposed to 2, yeah, it just depends. I mean, here's a guy that played varsity in the 10th grade at a high level, 11th grade. So his film shows this growth already, and it's saying, okay, you may just be on varsity your first year as a junior, did well, and now we're expecting your senior year to be great. And so you may not get a Power 5 look. You may come into your own your senior year, and that's great. That's not injury. That's not. And then it also depends on what high school you're playing JV at. A JV kid at Mater Dei or JV kid at Bosco, because of the numbers and what type of players come out of there, certainly different from a JV kid in my area, right? Some of their freshman teams could probably come and destroy our JV team and probably play some pretty close game with some varsity guys. So you got to understand that question is a very good question. I can't tell you, will it hurt or will it college coaches not recruit you? No. I just heard Chris Paul say he was cut basketball wise from his varsity team. He practiced with varsity every day, and he played JV. And then he thanked his coach because he had more development. But that was a different time, different sport. In football right now, everybody's a holdback. So, you know, you giving a kid a whole year jump start ahead of you to be seen by college coaches, to have more film than you. So your junior year, you got to be a dog monster and you got to be on the field all the time. So great question. Great question. Any other questions? Any other questions? Got one. Okay. How should you look at the summer? That was what I was talking about. If no coaches said anything to you and you are a 24 and you say, oh, you were just a camper, it seemed like you were just a camper. Well, if you went to camp and you were a class of 24, I would say, what camp did you go to? Were you at UCLA and USC? And so tell me what camps you went to. Okay, you went to Redlands, you went to Oregon. Okay. You went to Washington. Okay. You went to, the day that Washington was there, Eastern. Okay, some of the other schools. Okay. All right. Well, you went to those camps and nobody said anything to you and you just felt like a camper. You might want to reevaluate the schools that you're going after. Do you have a list of schools set out already that you're looking at to contact those coaches? Who's contacting them for you? I always tell parents, I haven't met a dad that doesn't think he has the best. I got accused of it, but they're my kids. Yes, my son's the best kid in the country. All three of them are the best kids in the country. What coach hasn't met a parent that doesn't like their own kid? If you're doing the emailing and you're doing it, mom, dad, you have a way of talking about your kid to let a coach know that you're mom and dad. So maybe using a service and using somebody else's voice would be a whole lot better than you telling them he's been playing this since he was 5 years old. His first words out of his mouth was ball. And from that point on, I knew he was the greatest. No, they need to hear it from somebody that has, a reputable background, that sent kids before. They know they can ask some real hard questions. Dejan, I looked at his grades. He's right at a 2.7. What kind? Can he handle the college load? Blah, 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 blah. Those are the questions, right? You're not going to say, no, my son is lazy and don't clean up his room, and we got to get on him to do that. And sometimes I have to tell him to go work out, and he doesn't want to go work out. You're not going to say that. You're not going to tell him that, right? So maybe you need to reevaluate the recruiting and the camps that you're going, put together and compile a real list. I did something today, guys, I think was absolutely amazing. I did it with ChatGPT. I told ChatGPT to give me a 5-star ranking from 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star. I'm still working with it. I'm going to share with you guys if because I want to challenge college coaches and the NCAA. If we're going to continue to call kids student athletes, why does the kid with a 3.8 or 4.0 not be called a 5-star athlete? How can the kid be only based upon measurable size and athletic ability and a 2.5 be a 5-star? Can't be a 5-star with a 2.5. And I think there's a way that we need to make sure that we are sending the right message to the student athletes who are doing everything they need to do in the classroom, have athletic ability. They may not have measurable size, but a 5'10" guy that's lightning fast shouldn't be just a 3-star when he has a 3.8 GPA. And the kid that has that 6'3", not as fast, but plays at a certain school can be a 5-star. And now I'm on the side of the kids and the parents. Student athletes need to be rewarded for being what you call them, student athletes. And if I'm a student, why shouldn't I should be a 5-star based upon my academia first. That's what it says, student athlete. So if you tell me you're looking for athletic students, then okay. But if you tell me the student part comes first, I'm trying to understand why kids are 2-star or no star that are carrying 4.0s. Just me. Just me. But I would reevaluate. I would reevaluate my recruiting. I truly would reevaluate. Uh, yeah, yeah. And there's some double holdbacks. There's my brother's on. He said there's some double holdbacks. There's some yeah. And definitely. And if you're a ninth grader, again, build your brand. Get out in the morning. Put your phone out. Get your phone out. What are you doing in the morning? Are you got the ladder? Are you showing footwork? Coaches are like, man, you see this little kid here? Bunchy. You guys know who Bunchy is. You've been watching Bunchy since Bunchy was on a little bitty guy all the way till the Dorito commercials at the Super Bowl. He's in high school now, but he built a brand now that if Bunchy doesn't do anything, he got some commercial money coming his way. And if he goes to college and maybe he plays, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But he's done a great job of building his brand in the brand era. Okay. So just want to answer some more questions, let you guys know. If you want to set up a Zoom meeting, contact us, CA Recruits. CA Recruits. Let me edit that because that didn't come out right. Don't look like. CARecruits.com. I don't want to put that out there. You guys can't find us. Yeah. CARecruits.com. There it is. There we go. Let's get it right. There you go. CARecruits.com. That's my number, 323-335-6359. Set up a Zoom meeting. If you are at a high school where you want me to come in and talk to, I talk to the Los Alamitos parents. Some of you public schools, you guys are doing a great job. We do super discounts for whole teams. So if you have a freshman team and you want to start the recruiting, we do a whole recruiting package, A through G forms, making sure the kids are on track to graduate, making sure kids know what type of list and colleges to put out. If you're at a private school, works there as well. I just think if you don't have a recruiting coordinator for the boosters and the parents that are saying, hey, we want to build our program and we want to build what we do this way, this is how we do it. We do a whole team recruiting package for the entire program. Myself with California Recruits, my other partner, and we do it in the IE, Fresno, and the Bay Area. I handle the Bay Area all the way into LA, private and public. We want to help build that plan. If you are a group of student athletes, 5 or more, there's a group discount for what we do. We help you guys with this whole process, with taking you on the trips, with doing the whole deal. I don't put you on a 7-on-7 team. That's your deal. But the whole recruiting process, managing it, managing your Twitter, understanding how to use Twitter, what you should be putting on your Twitter, how your Twitter should look from the time a coach goes on your page. Is your GPA in your Twitter? Is your clearinghouse number there if you have one? Is your huddle easy to find on your Twitter page? How many times a week are you on Twitter? Are you doing the things that you need to do to drive coaches to your page? So there's a whole lot more to go into this recruiting. It is an actual job over the next 4 years for you, the parents, and us as a company. So I will tell you, you definitely want to make sure it is something that you want to do. Okay. And so I want to make sure you guys know that as well. So that's how we can be reached. If there's no more questions, I'm going to sign off, let you guys know that I'll be back on. Anybody that's here that's a client, we will have an all clients meeting coming up. Again, carecruits.com. If you're a new person that wants to, have a Zoom meeting, you're trying to figure out this thing, navigate this thing, I will tell you guys. Also, you parents, watch this. Managing Expectation is very huge. You can also get my book on Amazon. It's called When the Cheers Stop, How to Help Athletes Deal with Depression. This recruiting thing can take our kids into a whirlwind of depression. And I have a book about it because I watched it with one of my sons after the pandemic. I watched it with him really come out of it, depressed about how these things go, how coaches promise and his expectations weren't managed. Truly pick the book up. It is called When the Cheers Stop, How to Help Athletes Deal with Depression. My name is Dejan Jernigan. It's on Amazon. $15 little book. If you want it, I definitely can get you this book, get it to you. This is what the book looks like on Amazon. Let me pull it back here. I think you can see it more back here, wherever. Let me take the screen off so you can see this book. But yeah, so when the cheers stop, how to help athletes deal with depression is the book. It's a $15 book on Amazon. You guys should go get it, read it. I also do a depression, how to manage that depression, when the cheers stop workshop for high school student and college athletes as well. I'll be at Bethel College doing that workshop with their student athletes in all of their sports because kids are dealing with the mental health part. And I will tell you, a lot of it starts from this whole recruiting thing and not managing expectation from the time a kid is 6 years old to the time they're 18 to 22 years old, and they think, oh, I'm not going to go to the NFL, or I didn't get a Division I scholarship. All my friends are doing better than me, and they don't want to. There's a lot go on, parents, and so I'm just telling you, it's something that you guys really, really, really should look into. Okay, and so I'm going to sign off, man. I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Took my screen away so you guys get to see I'm at my house tonight. God bless you. God keep you. Thank you again for tuning in.